Again, think now. All right. I am set number 1. And somebody said they had an issue with number 10. Okay. Again, very good problem. All right. It says set I consists of 6 consecutive integers. So what I want you to do is put down I equals, now a set generally contains that. All right, parentheses. Now, what are 6 consecutive integers? So we'll just start with one. We'll just make something up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, that's what you should have written down. All right. Now it said J consists of all integers that result from adding 3 to each of the integers in set I. So if I add 3 to each one, I would start with, no, 4, right? So it'd be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is everybody agreeing with that? All right. After that, it says, it also, for subtracting 3. All right, so if I start with 1 and subtract 3, I would get what? And then 2 minus 3. -1, then 3 minus 3. 4 minus 3. 5 minus 3. And 6 minus 3. All right, look at that, guys. That now is set J. That now is set J. The problem is, do some of the numbers repeat? I thought they would, but guess what?
They don't.
Yes, they don't. All right? So let's read the directions now. How many more integers are there in set J than in set I? Well, how many are in set J, or I? How many in J? So how many more? That wasn't that bad. Right? That wasn't bad. All right, so again, remember, give yourself a little check there. Anybody else before we move on to set 2?
Oh, I have a question.
All right, nothing right now though, right? All right, here we go. Let's look now. All right, flip to set 2. Let's see how you're doing. That obviously did not work out. Hold on, I gotta look at something real quick. I'll copy this one more time. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now, all right, super important. All right, 1 divided by 6 over 2s. All right, that's just understanding fractions. Hey, girls. So this, all this meant was 1 divided by 6 over 2s. And how do you handle division? Ooh, close. Close. What do I do?
1 over 1 times 2.
Yeah, remember, you write 1 becomes 1 over 1, then you multiply by the reciprocal. So the reciprocal becomes 2s over 6. Everybody good with that? And now, what do you do with the 2 and the 6, do you think? Reduce it. So that reduces to just s over 3, which is c. Okay? Here we go. Good. How did I get the 3? Because you're looking at the fraction 2/6. 2/6 reduces to 1/3. You see what I mean? Right? From this right here, the reciprocal. You good now? All right. Here we go for question number 2. It says ABCD is the face of a cube. All right. And a cube, remember, all sides are equal. Do we agree? All right. Now, it says the number of faces of the cube perpendicular to ABCD. So what I want to do now is I'm going to highlight ABCD, which is nothing more than the what? The front of the cube. Does everybody agree with that? Now it wants to know how many faces are perpendicular to the cube. Anybody tell me? How many faces are perpendicular to the cube? 2. What did you get, Colin? 4. 4. Anybody else?
4.
All right, now let's see what's meant by perpendicular. Perpendicular means they meet at a right angle. Agreed? So let me try to draw them out for you. All right, just in case you didn't see it. So this right here, the side wall is considered perpendicular. Do you agree with that? Right? Then I have the other side wall, which would be considered perpendicular. And then I have the bottom of the cube is considered to be perpendicular, right? And then what? The top is perpendicular. You see that now? Does everybody see that? So that answer here is what? 4. And we're comparing 4 to 3, so we know the answer has to be what? A. A is correct. Any questions or concerns? Got it? All right, very good problem. All right, let's check out number 3. Uh-oh. This is a really good problem. I want to see who's thinking here. What did you get?
I got
A. What'd you get? B. Good. I got another B. B. Colin? B. Looks like B's running away. Good for you. I like it. Good for you. Seriously. Good. Good. It's supposed to be different. C. Yay. Good. So we got a couple C's. All right. Now let me try to show you what you can do here. All right. Let me show you what you can do. First of all, does everybody know what this means right here? Some people did not know what that meant. What does that mean?
Oh,
Go ahead, Julian.
does it mean that G is greater than 0?
Yes, it does.
F is greater than
That is exactly correct. That's exactly correct. They're not equal. G is greater than 0 and F is greater than G. So now, personally, you can plug numbers in to see. All right? So I want someone to tell me, Sebastian, what do you want to let F be?
What's that? F be 5.
And then G would be what?
2.
All right. That's a good example. All right. So now we're going to plug it in and see what happens. What's F plus 1?
6.
Divided by 5.
1.2.
All right. Now we're going to let G be 2. So this becomes what? 3 over 2. All right. Now your job is to decide which one's bigger. 6 divided by 5, he already told me was 1.2. And 3 divided by 2, you guys know is what? 1.5. So guess what, guys?
Oh, let's go.
All right. B is bigger. All right. Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
All right. Now, let's scroll to question number 4. All right. K is a positive integer. All right. Then it says V is always 10 times K. The sum of the digits of K and the sum of the digits of V. What do we got here? So far, B.
Yeah, no.
B. I'm not saying that's correct. Good for you. A and A.
I got D.
D?
Same.
I got it.
D, we're not sure.
I know we
I
know
got
it's
a
wrong.
D.
Julian, what did you get? What did you say?
I got it.
Good. Okay, now listen. Again, I'm trying to show you how, listen, you're not supposed to just be able to look at this and say, okay, that's the answer. I would like someone to say, if K is a positive integer, somebody give me a positive integer. What, Will?
1.
All right, so he's going to go, K is equal to 1.
Oh, wait, never mind.
So now, if K is equal to 1, V would have to equal what? 10. Exactly. The sum of the digits in K. Well, there's only one digit, so that sum would be what? 1. What is the sum of the digits of V? 1. The sum of the digits. You understand what I'm saying? 1 plus 0 is 1.
Yes.
So it appears now that they are what? I'm not sure.
Right.
Now, you can't say you got it right now if you didn't tell me you got what the answer was. The correct answer is C.
What?
All right. Now listen, what I'm going to do now, though, is I'm going to give you another example so I can show you something. It's very easy. It's very easy. Say it again. Go ahead. Explain it.
Anything that ends at 0.
Yeah. Anytime you multiply by 10, you just add a 0 to the end. Is that going to affect the sum? Is that going to affect the sum? No. Let me make sure you understand what I'm saying. For example, if I said to you 153 was K, what's the sum of those digits? No. What's the sum of those digits? 9. Does everybody agree? The sum is of the digits is 9. Sebastian, you got to come up here. Come on. Just keep, The sum of the digits is 9. Now, V, you multiply by 10. So that's going to be 1530. When you add the digits, does anything change? No, it doesn't. 1 plus 5 plus 3 plus 0, the sum is still 9. That's why the answer is C. All right. Now let's go here. Look right here, guys, because I miscounted. It looks like. So see this right here. Did everybody see that? That was a mistake on my part. Let's make this 4.5. All right, that's 4.5. Everybody, just look at that. All right, if you didn't see it, that's okay. I'm going to give you 30 seconds right now. See if you know what to do. Shh. Now look, I already moved one person. All right, I don't want to be distracted. Did you get that one yet? Oh, did you? All right, so guys, how do I solve this equation first? 0.92x equals 9.2. All right, so what do I do to both sides? What do I do to both sides?
We would subtract 9.2.
Wait a minute now. This is multiplication, remember?
Oh yeah.
So how do I get rid of multiplication again? Divide. So we're going to divide by 0.92. We're going to divide by 0.92. So that leaves me with x equals. Now, there's a bunch of decimals. So we're going to get rid of the decimals. So I have to move the decimal 2 spots. When I move it 2 spots, that makes that 920 over 92. Does everybody agree with that? Now, what's 920 divided by 92? 10. So x equals 10. Do we agree with that?
Yeah.
Don't when you multiply by 10, should you just like move the decimal?
Yes, good job, girl. You could have just said multiply by 10 because 0.92 times 10 is 9.2. That's an easy way to look at it. Very good.
Yes.
So does everybody agree x is equal to 10?
Yeah.
That's what you were trying to tell me.
That's what I got.
All right. Now, but that's not the answer because they want what? 1 over x. So what is 1 over x? Yes, the answer to this problem is 1 over 10. The answer to this problem is 1 over 10.
Oh.
All right? Here we go. Now let's take a look at number 5. All right, we can do this one. All right. It says here, x squared equals y cubed. Well, what is x? 8. So be quiet. 64 is equal to y cubed. Put your hand down. 64 is equal to y cubed. So now the question is, what number times itself 3 times is 64? 4. 4. That wasn't hard. Can I agree? Right? 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. Girls, you guys are distracting me. So, everybody okay with that problem? Any question? All right, let's take a look at question number 6 now. All right, it says Carla has 2 more than 3 times the number of cassette tapes that Jules has. If C represents the number of Carla's tapes and J represents the number of Jules' tapes, which of the following is a correct expression relating C and J? Now again, put your hand down. All right, this is something I need to set up. All right, so I have Carla, right, and Jules, right? So it says Carla has 2 more than 3 times the number of cassettes that Jules have. Well, here's how I want you to think about it. Jules has, I don't know how many, what? X. So Carla would have what? 3x plus 2. Whoever said that, thank you. 3x plus 2. All right. Now, again, look carefully. If Carla represents the number of Carla's tapes and J represents the number of Jules' tape. Now, I like to use X, but in this case, they're really telling me to use what for J? J, right? So now I want to make sure you see what I'm saying. I'm just changing this to J, and then Carla would be what? 3J plus 2. Does everybody see that? So the correct answer is actually what? Come on. D. All right. D. All right. Now again, double check your mistake. If you made a mistake, make sure you see why you made it. Anybody have any issues with that? All right, be careful. Oh, let's go on to number 7. All right, here we go. A lot going on here, so let's see what's going on. All right. It says, which of the following graphs best represents the relationship between the price of the game Q and the projected number of games sold? All right. Now, again, generally what goes on is the higher the price, the less people can buy it. The cheaper it is, the more. Right? So let's see if that's what they're saying. If the game is what? 50, then there'll be 50,000 people to buy it. If you make the game 30, then you'll have what? 100,000. So as the price goes down, the more people buy it. So now, look at B. Is B possible?
No.
No, because that means it doesn't matter. Look at C.
Yes.
As the price goes up, the number of games is going up. Isn't that what that says? So that's not the right answer, correct? Because as the price goes up, right, the number of games gets...
Mr. Stroud, but it says up there that the rise is projected number of games sold.
All right, so maybe I made a mistake. All right, let's look at it. Let's look at it. So if I were to graph this right here, let's look over here. If I were to graph this, see if you understand what I mean. This would be 10, 30, and $50. Do you see that? Then the price or the number of games sold would be 50,000, 100,000, 150,000. Does that make sense? So 10 would be 150,000. 30 would be what? 100,000. And uh-oh, wait a minute.
Oh.
This was over here. $50. Does everybody agree with that? And then 10 games cost what? 50,000. Hold on a minute. Shh. Man, I just totally graphed that incorrectly. Sorry about that. See, I when I switched them, so look at the ordered pairs here, guys. Sorry, I did make a mistake on this part right here. $50, it's 50,000. So this would come down here, right? 30 is plotted correctly, but 10.
Oh.
All right. Everybody see that? Sorry.
Yeah, so that then
All right. So does everybody see now? If you just took the time to plot that out, you can definitely see that it's A now. All right. That was my fault because I misplotted it first. All right. But A was correct. A is correct. All right. Now, the other thing you can look at here is you can notice that, well, I don't want to get into that. All right. Let's just go ahead to number 8 now. All right, number 8 is a really good visual. All right, so let's look at it carefully. All right, let's see what you get. I've got a D so far. Anybody else?
I got D.
Is everybody on D?
I got C.
I got a C. Good.
No, I got D.
That's too bad you changed your answer.
Oh.
What'd you get? C. Good. Let's take a look now. It says in the figure above, the 3 diameters divide the circle into 6 equal regions. If a circle is rotated 120 degrees, so if it's rotated 120 degrees, that means how many slices are you moving it? You're moving it 2 slices. Does everybody understand what that means? In other words, 360 degrees in a circle, and if you divide 360 by 6, that means each one of these now is 60 degrees. 60 degrees, 60 degrees. Is everybody with me on this? Each piece of that pie would be 60 degrees. Now I'm going to move it, how many degrees? 120 degrees, but I'm going to move it 120 degrees in a clockwise direction. So clockwise means you're going in this direction. Everybody okay with that? I'm going 60, well actually I'm going clockwise, but I'm going to move 120 degrees, which means every one of these pictures, every one of these is just going to be moved 2 pieces over. Does everybody agree with that? So let's see if D, if you said that was correct. So in other words, the dot, this green dot right here, I'm going to put down here. Does everybody agree with that? Then the plus sign would go there. All right? So is that D?
Yes.
Yes, that is D. Good job, guys. All right, very good on your rotations. Very good. All right. Let's take a look now at question number 9. All right, for question number 9, you had to draw out something. All right, hopefully you did that. It says, in the figure above, the line segment joining the 2 points 2, 3, and 2, 8 form the side of a square. Which of the following could be a coordinate of another vertex? All right, what did you get? I got an E so far. E,
I got a C.
B. So far I've got E and B and C.
E.
E, E. Hey, boys. E. Did you get something? What'd you get? B. All right. So now it's a square. So let's look and see what we got for all the possibilities for it's a square. Now, what is the length of the side of the square? 5. Thank you, whoever said that. It's 5. Does everybody agree how that's 5? Right, so if I'm going to make a square, I'm going to have to go how many this direction? 5 and 5 down. Right? That's one possibility. The other possibility is if I go in this direction 5 and this down 5 and this over 5. Does everybody see that?
Oh, it's darn.
Right? So if I move 5 in this direction, that point would be 7, 8.
Yeah.
If I move 5 in this direction, it would be 7, 3.
Oh, I did that.
If I move 5 to the left, it would be -3, 8. And then this would be -3, 3. Those are the possibilities. All right? So what was the answer?
I think it was E.
Yep, it was definitely E. All right, definitely. All right. Now, is that the last one? Yes. Okay, Connor, sit down for a minute. All right. Hey, now, you guys, just now, open up. We're doing 3 now. Set 3. Set number 3. Let's go.
On it.
I already have those.
Yes.
You load them up. All right, get to answer a couple of questions now. Get busy, get busy, get busy. Shh. Got 5 minutes, then I'm going to start going. Look now at question number 1. It says, 3 business partners are to share profits of $24,000. All right? So $24,000 represents a whole profit. Does everybody agree with that? But the 5, 4, and 3 represent the individual pieces. So here's how I want you to look at it. All right. I want to look at it as here is the 24,000. All right. Now, how many pieces are there all together? How many pieces are there all together? How many? I think there are 12. Everybody's got to pay attention now. There are 12 pieces. And why do I say that? We say that because the first person has how many pieces? The second person has what? And the third person has what? 3. So the first person gets 5 out of what? No, 5 out of what? 12. The second person gets what? 4 out of 12. And the third person gets what? 3 out of 12. All right? So what I was going to try to tell you is this is the whole, and then you have to divide it up into the number of pieces. And how many pieces did I want there? 12. Is everybody with me on that? Now that you have that, that's really important. All right? Now, we want to know what is the amount that the least of the person gets. Well, the least fraction is what? So he gets 3/12. All right? So essentially what you're doing is you're dividing it into 12, and you get 3 of those 12 pieces. So if they have a profit of 24,000, what does each piece represent? Say it. 2 what? $2,000. Each piece represents $2,000. Do you understand that? You guys okay with that explanation? Now, the smallest person gets what, though? 6,000, because he gets what? 3 parts, right? So that's why it came out to be $6,000. All right, what?
I got the same answer, but I didn't.
That's perfectly fine. Doesn't matter how you do it. All right? What? Oh, you're asking me about number 2. All right, here we go. Number 2 is actually kind of tricky. What did you think you got?
I got
A, good. Somebody else?
I got A.
Okay. It looks like A is the only answer. All right, so now let's see if you made a mistake.
It's either A
All right?
Yeah, I thought it was A or B.
So if P is a prime number greater than 3, so what I want to do is I want to pick a prime number greater than 3. Somebody pick a, so let's go with 5. All right? So now we want to take what would be 6P then? 30. Does everybody agree? Would be 30. All right? So which is not a factor? Well, letter A, what is P squared?
Oh, 25.
25, right? Does 25 go into 30?
No.
So that's not a factor. So that is correct.
Hey.
All right, that was correct. Now, what is 6 times P? 30, right? Does 30 go into 30? Yes. What's 3 times 5? 15. Does 15 go into 30?
Yes.
Yes. What's 2 times 5? 10. Does that go into 30? Yes. And does 3 go into 30? Yeah. That wasn't that hard. Again, remember, you're trying to do what? Put numbers in so you can see the numbers better rather than just looking at the variables. All right, does anybody have any questions with that? That was pretty good. All right. Let's take a look now at number 3. All right, this one was hard. It says, what is the least possible integer for which 20%, how do I write 20%? 0.2 of that integer. Well, we have to give, do we know what integer they're talking about? No, we don't. So we're going to make it what? X. So we say 0.2x has to be greater than 1.2. What is the least possible integer for which 20% of the integer is greater than 1.2? All right, so now how do I do that? How do I solve that? Well, this is basic now. We worked on it a lot. Anybody? No, we're not. Dividing, yes. Divide both sides by 0.2. Divide both sides by 0.2. So x has to be greater than what? Now be careful now. 1.2 divided by 0.2. You move the decimal over. Well, that would just be 12 divided by 2. Is everybody okay with that? I'm not sure what you're saying. 1.2, how many times does 0.2 go into 1.2? 6 times. So x has to be greater than 6. Now, I think I might have a little problem here, though. What is the least possible integer? So x has to be greater than 6. What is the least possible integer for which 20% of an integer is greater than? So the answer would have to be greater than 6, right? So I think the answer would have to be, unless there's, yeah, I think what happened is there's supposed to be an E on here. I think there was a typo. See where there's a typo down here, guys? So I think there was an E, And I think for E, it would be 7. Do I agree with that? That's what happened. I can see that's exactly what happened. All right, there's a typo right there. Does everybody agree with that now? Because it says E has to be greater than 6. And what's the first integer greater than 6? 7. So the answer would have to be E. All right? All right, now guys. All right, go through these. All right? And tonight, I want you have open 4, correct? You're going to finish up set 3 now and set 4. Set 3 and set 4. Get busy. The bell's going to ring here in a few minutes, I think.